Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to another Sunday night live stream. Tonight is Sunday, November 3rd. How's everyone doing? We doing good, everyone? David, thanks for the kind words. Jacqueline, congrats on a long fast. Vicky, Mrs. Angeles, or Angeles. A, Andre, Marlana, Mr. VO, Andre. Am I missing anyone? Mark, both Marks, Malungai Mark and DMMMX1. Welcome, everyone, to another Sunday Night live stream. Do you know what today is? I know what today is. Today is my Diet Pepsi here. Day 364. Everyone, 364 days. That's 52 weeks. That's a year of consistent fasting. I am 364 days consistent when it comes to rolling fasts. Has it been perfect? Has it been a perfect 52 weeks? Of course not. But it's been consistent. I think you all know the theme by now when I talk about imperfect consistency. I think it was amazing to lose 80 pounds in less than 5 months. But I think what's even more so amazing is that over this past year of me doing this, despite rough days, despite days I didn't want to stream or be here, I think what's amazing to me is I consistently showed up. I kept myself accountable. Now, today we're gonna make today kind of like a pregame, because if you don't know, this Wednesday is when I'm actually going to do more of a celebration for 1 year on my fasting journey. Yes, today technically is 52 full weeks of consistent fasting, but I also started on November 6th. Today's November 3rd. So this Wednesday, I'm doing a special Wednesday night live stream, and I'm going to go through a lot. I'm going to go through a lot of nerd stats. We're going to go through some nerd stats tonight. Tonight is going to be a shorter live stream. I am kind of going off the cuff at this point, but I wanted to come because every Sunday I want to make sure that we're here for accountability. Everyone who's in here in chat, please feel free to share your accountability. Remember, I am sharing my story, obviously. I'm sharing my ups and downs, but this is a place for all of you to do the same, especially if you find it helpful for you. Please feel free to share where you're at with your journey. If you've completed fasts, if you're struggling, remember, this isn't just a place to share how well you're doing, but also when you're struggling, talk to others, share, and let each other know that you're not alone. Just like I tell all of you, you are not alone on this journey. As we're sitting here and talking, I am currently 69 hours and 59 minutes fasted. I'm almost 70 hours fasted. And I've been doing this for 364 days, over and over and over and over. I think it's a little wild that sometimes people will ask me, so how long do you fast for, and how long does it take you to get back on another fast? And sometimes I have to look at them and be like, oh, there's a ladybug on my... Anyway, I got distracted. So there are there are ladybugs coming in here. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how. Anyway, sometimes people will ask me and they'll be like, "Okay, Jerome, so you fast and then how long before you get on another fast?" And I kind of have to look at them and tell them, "What do you mean? I go right back into another fast once I eat." And I'll share some of those stats today, but again, I'm going to be more detailed on Wednesday when I go over that. But yes, for the last 364 days, literally fasting, eating for around 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, and then fasting again for a prolonged, extended period of time, over and over and over now for a year that I've been doing this. It's how I lost 80 pounds in 5 months, less than 5 months, and it's how I've kept it off for over half a year, for 7 months at this point. Everyone, we're heading into year 2 of this journey. At the same time, this is where I want to ask all of you, right? Imagine where you'd be today if you had joined this journey with me. If you were here on November 5th, 2023, on a Sunday, because today is 52 Sundays ago, or 52 Sundays ago is when I did my first live stream coming back, the day before I started my journey. 52 Sundays ago, I told everyone who was here, who was watching, to please come along this journey with me. Where were you then? If you were here and you were like, yeah, I'm going to join Jerome and do it. I'm going to get on this wagon and prioritize my health and get yourself together, or whatever that looked like. Imagine where you'd be if you had stuck it through for 52 weeks. I'm not saying that you didn't. I know there are probably a number of people who have that cyclical issue of getting on, getting off, maybe taking some time off, which there's nothing wrong with. But for me, I feel like this is a wagon that I feel like you stay on. This is a wagon where you realize it's okay to have a bad day, but you're still on the wagon. You know what I mean? When you get on, when you're on this journey, I feel like it's a journey that you have to continuously remind yourself that you're partaking in, that it's important to you. It doesn't mean that you have to fast 72 hours, 96 hours, 168 hours over and over and over again. But I think it means being mindful when it comes to eating, not eating. A lot of people think that fasting is a fad, that fasting doesn't work, that fasting's not sustainable. And again, I'm going to probably talk a lot about this on Wednesday, but from the beginning of my journey to where I'm at today, I still see a lot of, and this isn't on everyone. It's that minority, but sometimes it's fuel for my fire, right? When people say, you're not going to be able to lose that weight. You gained it before. You're not going to, how are you going to lose it again? You're just going to gain it all back. This is unsustainable. You're going to lose muscle. You're going to kill yourself. This is going to make you sick. And in reality, it's done all of the opposite. It's been sustainable. I've kept the weight off. I've reversed my type 2 diabetes. I've reversed my high blood pressure. I've brought my testosterone levels back to normal. I have more energy at 43, soon to be 44 years old than I ever have. I'm confident in who I am. I'm comfortable in my skin. My hands are always cold, which is annoying. I'm always a lot colder than I used to be. I don't sweat all day. I can be outside in 85-degree weather and feel good. The pros go on and on and on. I don't have to spend a ton of money because I'm fasting. I don't have to eat food every day. I don't have to think about food every day. I don't have food noise in my head every day. I save money because I don't have to spend money on food every day. I save money because I get to wear boys' clothes like this and spend like $5 for a sweater at Target at the Cat and Jack section. I've learned a lot over time. There's been a lot of naysayers. There's been a lot of people who think that there's only one way to lose weight and it's their way or the highway. And I've come here to teach people that no, what works for you is going to be different than what works for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to eat a certain way, by all means. But for some people, it doesn't always work that way. And for some people, it doesn't mean that just one type of eating is what you're going to do forever. One type of fasting is not what you're going to do forever. One type of exercise is not what you're going to do forever. Because when you're on this journey, like I have been for 364 days, I have learned that over time, things change. My fasting intervals have changed. My refeeding intervals have changed. The way I eat has changed. The way I exercise has changed. The way I sleep has changed. The way I think about things has changed. Don't look at one type of eating as the be all end all. Don't look at fasting in one interval as the be all end all. Be a little open minded about different things and different ways to do things because you can learn a lot instead of being closed minded about it. Not everyone is doing a 2,000 calorie diet and cutting 500 calories every day for the next 3 months. I started doing 90-hour fasts. I'm not doing them anymore. 65s, 42s. I go on vacation. I eat back-to-back days. Sometimes I feel a little burnt out. Some days I want to eat for an entire day. And I've been experimenting with that. And I've been playing around with it. And I've been learning to eat better. I didn't just figure this out or want to do this because I saw someone do it or read about it. But I got to this point because as I've continued my journey every single day, as I've learned about myself every single day, about what I like to do, how this fast works versus doing this one, I guess the best way to put it is I've learned by doing. Do you know what I mean? So when I work with people, when I coach people, when we're talking one-on-one together, I can share all the experiences in the world with them, with you all, but at the same time, the only way you're really going to figure a lot of this stuff out is by doing. For you to really realize what works and what doesn't is going to be through trial and error. I'm just looking at chat here really quick. London S2K, Landon. I'm sorry, Landon. What happens to the testosterone levels? I usually don't answer questions right away here, but let me just answer this because I saw this in chat. So I don't know if I've officially shared this with people here. I think I might have. So for me, my testosterone levels dropped. They tanked, not because of fasting, but because I used to weigh 235 pounds, 225 plus pounds, and I'm 5'3". So I was morbidly obese. My testosterone levels had, so the normal range for testosterone levels are around 300 to 800, I believe. And 2.5 years ago, or 3 years ago now, it's been about 3 years, my testosterone levels dropped to 170. And my doctor was like, come back in 4 weeks and let's get some more blood work to see if your testosterone levels are still low, because you might have to be put on testosterone therapy or hormone replacement therapy. I can't remember, TRT or HRT or whatever. So I come back 4 weeks, and then my testosterone levels were at 117. So they said I had the testosterone of, like, I believe it was like a 70-plus-year-old person. And then I fasted, got back on my journey, started working out again, exercising. And then a couple months ago, when I went to my doctor, my testosterone levels went from 117 to 841. So on the high range level. And I wasn't on any kind of medication. I wasn't taking any types of pills. I wasn't taking any kind of supplements. I got my testosterone levels back to normal or at the high level because I lost the weight. I started fasting and I started taking care of myself. So just FYI, the same way that I reversed my type 2 diabetes, I went from a 9.9 A1C a couple years ago to a couple months ago, I went to a 5.3 just through fasting. And even when I saw that 5.3, I was like, 5.3? I'm like, why is this not lower than 5? And my doctor was like, Jerome, you should be pretty happy with where you're at. You've been a type 2 diabetic for 20 plus years, and you did it without any medication. He actually asked me if I was sure I wasn't taking any medication. I was like, no. But that's my new goal now too, is to get under 5. And anyway, it's how I reverse my high blood pressure, so on and so forth. So for anyone who's in here, I want you to remember that this journey that I'm on is the same journey that you can be on as well. We might have different ways of getting to better health, but there's no reason to jump off of the wagon. There's no reason to say, hey, it's the weekend right now, so what does it matter? I'm just going to start on Monday. There's no reason for that, because you should be able to give yourself grace, give yourself some room to enjoy and indulge when you want to, but not to just completely throw away the day or the weekend or the week or the month because you've been doing that for your entire life. Just like people who might be in here right now who might not even be in here right now, because for them, they're like, Halloween just passed, and you know what? Thanksgiving's coming up, and then Christmas is coming up. I'm just going to start on the new year. And in a lot of ways, it's like there's still 2 full months before the new year starts. So for the next 60 plus days, you're just going to say fuck it to your health. And again, I'm not saying that everybody should be fasting for super long amounts. I'm not saying that everyone should eat chicken breast, broccoli, and brown rice for their entire lives. I'm just saying, why don't you learn how to do the good things and still incorporate giving yourself grace and doing some of the things that might not be the cleanest, but learning to live with both? You know what I mean? Abdi with a $10 super chat. Abdi, thank you for the support as always. Congrats for 52 weeks, Jerome. Thank you, Abdi. I appreciate you. I remember when I found your channel last year, your imperfect consistency in fasting resonated with me and helped me to lose 60 pounds. Again, Abdi, congrats on the 60-pound weight loss. I'm thankful and looking forward to next year. You and me both. Abdi, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you for the support as always. always congratulations too for the 60 pounds that you've lost. And here's to year 2 to make sure that you and I maintain this weight loss, keep it off, and continue improving and working on ourselves and bettering our lives. Abdi, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me go ahead and go. Let me go ahead and continue on here. Again, I'm making this a shorter live stream because I want to have a longer live stream on Wednesday. So I want to just start sharing some nerdy stats with you, but I'm really going to go into detail on Wednesday, but I have a good amount to show you as well. So here we are right now, day 364, 52 weeks in of rolling fasts, of practicing imperfect consistency. In the last 364 days, I have completed 127 fasts. So for the last year, I have completed 127 fasts, which also means that for 237 of those days, I did not eat. For 237 of those days, I fasted. But here's the thing. Even though I had refed for 127 of those days, it's not like I was eating for the entire day. If you look at my average refeed, 5 hours and 47 minutes for the last 364 days. I have, on average, fasted for 62 hours and 22 minutes, which is a little, no, that's right at 2.5 days. So to make things simpler, for the last 364 days, for the last 52 weeks, I fast for 2.5 days. I eat for about 6 hours and then fast for another 2.5 days, eat for 6 hours. I'm going to get into more of the details in that, but just wanted to share that. At the same time, I want to also express that I have not binge ate in 52 weeks. The last time I binged was on November 5th, 2023. So in 2 days, it'll be 1 year since I've binged. Close enough at this point. Hopefully, I will not be binging in the next 2 days, and it is very highly unlikely. That is a huge win for me. For me to go that long without binging when I was binging for almost 2+ years straight prior to that. My relationship with food was so broken. My mentality, my mindset, my way of thinking was so broken when it came to my relationship with food. So much has changed over time. And it's not because I decided to just do these rigid things, but it's because I have continued my journey from day 1 to day 364. And I have learned along the way. And I have learned, hey, this works. This doesn't work. I'm starting to feel burnt out. Let me do this instead. Let me try this. Let me give myself some grace. It's that type of thinking that's really gotten me to where I'm at today. Wanda Lofton with a $10 super chat. Wanda, thank you so much for the support. You've been so supportive lately as well. I appreciate you. Wanda, thank you so much. Wanda with a $10 super chat saying imperfect consistency. And yes, that is my mantra. That is what I abide by for anyone who might be new here. Imperfect consistency. All I'm saying is your journey, your fasting regimen, the way you eat, the way you exercise doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. You need to stop the all or nothing thinking. You need to stop the black and white thinking and start looking in the middle, looking in between. Take it from somebody who has been an all or nothing black or white person his entire life. And in a lot of ways, I still feel that way, but I'm trying to change that day after day after day. Wanda, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Spike, hi Spike. Congrats on 365. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. And also for everyone else, thank you so much for all the kind words, making it a year in. Crazy. Crazy to me. I'm trying to think of where I want to go to next here. So yes, like I said, currently 70 hours, 20 minutes fasted. I am breaking tonight. I am live streaming again on Wednesday to actually celebrate November 6th, because November 6th is when I actually started my journey. So hopefully some of you can make it Wednesday night. I'm going to be talking about a lot then, getting into the real details of where I'm at and actually what my future plans are. I'm going to save my future plans for the next live stream, for this Wednesday's live stream. I have a lot to talk about when it comes to that. So hopefully you can be there. Sherry with a $5 super chat. Sherry, it's so nice to see you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being around for so long. I appreciate you. Sherry with a $5 super chat. Congrats, Jerome. So freaking excited for you. Huge dub. Love and light. Sherry, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the continued support. Thank you for the love. I really appreciate that. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So let me just go ahead and let me share with you all where I'm at or how I got here over the 52 weeks. Okay. I want you all to remember that I started this journey and I had no idea where it was going to go. I had no idea if I was going to lose the weight right away, if I was going to stumble, if I was going to struggle. If you all or any of you who watched my live stream on November 5th, 2023, a year ago, I mean, I just posted a video, like a clip of me, and like I was a bumbling mess. I mean, I was literally crying because I was just so emotional and it was just so much for me. But I told myself, okay, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're even going to get through these long fasts, but you're just going to keep going. You're going to keep trying. You're going to keep pushing. You're going to see if this is something that you can do consistently. Back then, I didn't really have the imperfect consistency in my head, or at least the way I say it now, but it was something that I was hoping I would find myself continuing to do. And here we are a year later, and I'm still doing it. Oh my goodness, Mark. Oh, Jesus, Mark with $100 super chat. Oh my God, Mark. Mark, thank you so much for the support. Jesus, it's such a huge super chat. I saw the red flash and I'm like, oh, I think that might be a little more than $10. Mark, thanks for the $100. Mark says, congrats on 1 year. Thank you so much, Mark. In February, I was at my heaviest and found you. Oh man, Mark, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your story here. You opened my mind to different ways of fasting. I have an all or nothing relationship with food, as many do. Fasting during my work week is key. Thank you again, and congrats on your success. My nerd stats are in the chat. Mark, thank you again for such a huge, generous donation. I appreciate you. Thank you for the $100 super chat. But like, and you know what, let me just share this here so I can let me see if I can find it, Mark, because I want to be able to share your stats here. So the thing about Mark is Mark has been here for a while now, and Mark's always a huge supporter as well. But the thing with Mark is, I think my content has resonated with him, obviously. And like the fact that he found me earlier this year and he's incorporated it into his lifestyle and has learned imperfect consistency. And over time, I've seen Mark lose weight and I've seen Mark struggle, but Mark always shows up and is accountable and shares that, not only with me, but with the entire chat, right? Mark is sharing here. He's 37 weeks in. He's fasted 75 hours. We're about the same right now. He's down 0.8 pounds. He's lost almost 66 pounds now with a current weight of 257.3. Mark, congrats on your journey. Congrats on being able to get your mindset down, knowing that this accountability is just as important. I love that for you. I really appreciate the super chat. I don't know how else to thank you except to continue doing this like I do with everyone every week, but I appreciate you so much. Keep going, Mark. And you know, I hope, right, when you hit your year one, you'll share those stats with us too and let us know how far down you are a year into it. So thank you again, Mark. I appreciate you. I want to go ahead and I want to, well, actually, you know what? Before I even share the additional stats, let's go ahead and do fit check. Okay. So fit check, for people who might not be familiar, fit check is where I actually stand up back here. And this is also part of my accountability, right? Where I show you what my physique looks like. Even if I have a 6-day vacation and I gain 15 pounds, or a 10-day vacation and I gain 20 plus pounds, I stand up here and show you what I look like, because that's also part of my accountability. Sherry, again, with a $5 super chat. I'll get right back to it. Sherry, thank you again for another $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Jerome, you inspired me to do my 90-day handstand challenge on YouTube. Wow, I didn't even realize I'm now on day 70. Thank you. You're very welcome. And I mean, I can't do a handstand, but I'm sure this is part of your consistency. So Sherry, thank you for the $5 super chat. Congrats on your consistency when doing that. So thank you. Thank you again for the support. I just want to share fit check, right? If you all saw last on Halloween, actually, I wish I had put those pictures up. I just didn't have time today. But like on Halloween last year, this was me on Halloween, by the way, I was wearing a XX polo or an extra large polo or somewhere in between. I was wearing size 38 waist pants. I have other photos here, obviously. Well, that's the wrong photo. That's skinnier me. But these are not the right pictures, and I don't know why these are out of order. So give me a second. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's the other way around. So right, I have these photos of me where I was wearing a size 38 waist, almost a size 40, wearing a double XL shirt, just like here. And I'm sitting here right now talking to you all wearing this sweater with sharks on it. This is a size youth large, not even a youth extra large. This is a youth large. I have been able to fit into even smaller youth clothes lately because I have really started to lean out more. I've been going to the gym to lift weights, and I've been lifting fairly heavy, but we'll do fit check just to give you an idea of where I'm at. So again, this is a boy's large. If you don't know how big a boy's large is, I believe this is a size 12 to 14, or youth boys 12 to 14. If you're not sure how big a boy's youth large 12 to 14 is, just go to a Target and pull up a Cat and Jack large, and that's what I'm wearing right now. These pants that I'm wearing are size 28 waist. I used to wear a size 38 waist, a size 40 waist. Well, I didn't fit into a 40, but I was wearing a tight 38. And so this is where I'm at right now. Okay. Again, boys large, right? And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a boys large, it's because I'm 5'3". So I'm short. I anything bigger, if I wear an adult small, it ends up being long on me. But again, boys large, size 28 pants. Here's the side shot, right? Back. I wear a compressed shirt underneath. I usually hike these pants up, but like, yeah. And like, I typically I would flex, but I don't have I don't have my t-shirt to really flat, but you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, even though I'm wearing a boys large, this is starting to get tight up here because I have been very focused on lifting weights, right? And like adding muscle, and honestly, even just wearing this, it makes me feel more defined in that way. I do get a lot of questions. People ask me about my loose skin. Yes, I do have loose skin. I talk about it a lot. I have loose skin right here on my neck. It is probably the most self-conscious I am about it, but it's not that too concerning for me. I do have some loose skin on my upper arms, but again, that's kind of why, like, it's not the same when I don't have a t-shirt on or whatever, but like I lift weights and I'm trying to add muscle because I'm hoping that'll help with the loose skin. Again, a boy's large that I'm wearing. I wear size 28 pants, size 28 length because I'm short. And I have big plans for year 2, but I won't get into that until next Wednesday. So right now, I want to go ahead and I want to be able to share with you how I got here over the last 52 weeks. Okay. So we're going to do some nerd stats right now. And hopefully I won't bore you with these nerd stats, but I want to show you all how I lost 80 pounds in 5 months and what my journey has been like the 7 months after losing that weight and keeping it off. Because remember, this isn't just about losing the weight. This is also about how to maintain it, how to keep it off, how to deal with the mental part of it, how to deal with the ups and downs. There's a lot that comes into this. So let's go ahead. Let's kind of share this, or let me share this with you. So let's start from the very beginning. Okay. When I started this November 5th, 2023, on day 1, I weighed in at 217.8 pounds. At that time, on November 5th, actually, this started November 6th. November 5th is when I did my live stream, but that's fine. I'll update this later. So on day 1, which was actually November 6th, I was 217.8 pounds. I had told everyone I was going to do rolling 90s indefinitely until I got to my goal weight of under 140 pounds. Okay. Now, my very first fasts weren't actually 90s. I said I was going to do a 42-hour fast minimum first and a 65-hour fast minimum after that, and then 90s following, which is what I did. Here's the thing. By week 2, on day 13, I already went from 217.8 to 199.6, nearly 20 pounds down in less than 2 weeks. On week 3, day 18, I said, you know what? I'm not going to eat on Thanksgiving. Let me fast on Thanksgiving. I want you to understand the first 138 days for me, I was like laser focused. I know that this is not something that everyone can do. I was still working a full-time job while I was running this YouTube channel. I was working multiple jobs, multiple clients. I worked as a professional photographer, a professional videographer, and I was doing a lot of work then. I was working at different sites. I was very physical in the job that I do, the jobs that I did. I was doing this YouTube channel. I was walking 6 times a week. I was lifting at the gym twice a week. And I was fasting. And I was laser focused. Nothing was going to stop me. That's where my head was at that time. Literally nothing was going to stop me. One of the reasons that I was so motivated was because of all of you that are in here right now. One of the reasons I kept going was because I knew that I had to be accountable and show up for thousands of people, hundreds of people, tens of people, even if it was one person. That's my accountability. When I work with people, when I coach people, sometimes a lot, not a lot of times they realize that that accountability is so important, that showing up in a lot of ways pushes them to fast longer or do better or take care of themselves in a better way, because they know that they're not doing it alone. And sometimes having somebody there or showing up for other people can be very motivating. So for anybody watching this, kind of think about that accountability and the importance of that if that's helpful for you. So let me go ahead and continue on with this, right? I fasted on Thanksgiving, day 18. On day 20, I completed a 163-hour fast, nearly a 7-day fast, 5 hours shy of a 7-day fast. On day 20, in less than 3 weeks, I went from 217.8 to 190.6 pounds. I lost 27.2 pounds in 20 days. 27.2 pounds in 20 days. On week 4, day 28, was my birthday. I don't know why I put that there. I turned 43, just so you know. Week 6, on day 40, I broke into the 170s. Week 7, day 44, I was down 40 pounds, down 40 pounds in 44 days, from 217.8 to 177.4. Week 8, day 50, I fasted on Christmas Day. Week 9, day 57, I also fasted on New Year's Day. On New Year's Day, on day 57, I completed a 141-hour fast. I was down 50.4 pounds in 57 days. 50.4 pounds in 57 days. Nearly 1 pound a day for the first 50 days. Just kind of put that in your head of how hard I was pushing. 90-hour fasts over and over and over, sometimes 100+ hour fasts. But here's the thing. I still ate whatever I wanted. I still ate 5, 6, maybe 7,000 plus calories. And I was still losing that much weight on my journey. I just want to kind of keep you, just know where my head was at, why I was doing what I was doing. Me eating that way is mental relief for me. It might not be for you, but for me, feeling satiated was what got me to push harder and keep going. That's what was helpful for me. I'm not saying that you all have to eat 5,000 calories. God forbid, please do not do that if you can't even do that, or 6,000 calories. I'm just saying this is what worked for me. That's what kept me going over and over and over again. So let's go ahead and let's move on, right? Let's move. What is this? 3 months into it. On week 12, I broke into the 150s. Week 13, down 60 pounds in 89 days. So all of a sudden, I wasn't losing 1 pound a day. It was going much slower at this point. But it was also because I was leaning out already. Let's not forget, the leaner you get, the closer you are to getting to your average body weight, the harder it is to get down there. But on day 89, I was down 60 pounds. Week 15, day 103, I did a 111-hour fast. Day 114, I broke into the 140s. Day 118, I was down 70 pounds. Down 70 pounds in 118 days. On week 20, day 134, I completed a 114-hour fast. And then on day 138, I hit my goal weight. On week 20, I hit my goal weight. Under 140 pounds, I got to 139.8. Lost 78 pounds in 138 days. 4 days later, day 142, I hit another new low. And then I lost 80 pounds on day 142, literally 4 days after that. The following week, or later that week, I decided to stop doing 90-hour fasts and start doing 65-hour fasts. That was the end of rolling 90s. Not to say that I wouldn't do a 90-hour fast again or a 100 plus hour fast again, but what I was telling people was, hey, doing 90s consistently, I'm not going to be doing that anymore. I'm going to start doing 65-hour fasts. And that's what happened on day 145. Sure enough, on day 148, even doing 65s, I was still losing weight. I had gotten down to a new low at 137.6. And then if you look here, this is the first time I had to deal with a vacation. I ate 8 consecutive days in a row, and I went from 138 pounds to 159.2 pounds. Gained 21.2 pounds in that short amount of time. But like I tell everyone, just because I gained 21 pounds doesn't mean that it's 21 pounds of fat. A couple weeks later, getting right back into my 65-hour fasts, because that's exactly what I did after vacation, I went right back down to maintenance weight, got down to 143 on week 27. On week 32, another month or so later, I hit another new low weight, 137.2, 136.8. Week 33, another new low weight, 136.6. Week 34, another new low weight, 136.4. Week 35, 135.8, another new low weight. And then I go on a 6-day vacation, gain 19.8 pounds. And literally 4 days later, I get back to my maintenance weight at 141.8. If you're not familiar with my story or my journey, please watch my videos. I literally film myself eating on vacation, gaining the weight, and showing people that this is me enjoying myself, indulging, but still hitting the timer, still being accountable. And then as soon as vacation ends, I get right back into a fast, and the majority of that weight drops because it's mostly water weight. If I gain 20 pounds, 12 to 15 of those pounds, water weight. It'll drop in 2-3 days. Watch the videos if you don't believe me. I document all of it just to show that transparency with people. Day 252, I talk about having an urge to binge. I addressed it publicly. It caused me to break early and refeed, but I didn't binge. So I put that there because that was an important day for me. I had started to feel like how I used to feel back in my old days, wanting to binge. Here's the thing. Old Jerome from a couple of years ago when I first lost this weight before I put it all back on, when I had that urge to binge, I would never tell anyone. I wouldn't talk about it on YouTube. I wouldn't share it because I think my ego was too big. I felt too proud to say, hey, I'm struggling right now, because I felt that so many people were watching me, inspired by me, that showing that type of weakness, I couldn't do it. And then I realized this time around that it's that type of struggle when I need to show up even more. So many of us, people I work with, people I coach, people who I have coached in the past, people who I'm currently coaching, I've said this. So many of us cannot wait to share when we're doing well. So many of us cannot wait to share the spreadsheet with me to let me know how well they're doing. And I love that for them because it's great to share and partake in that joy, partake in that happiness because you've done something amazing. You've fasted, you've lost weight, all of those things. Great. I love it. But when things aren't going well, when you're having a hard time, when you're struggling, for me, that's when I notice people have a harder time showing up. People have a harder time filling out the spreadsheet. People have a harder time hitting the timer. People have a harder time logging the data. And I get that because I've been there. I did it a couple years ago when I just completely fell off the face of YouTube and I was gone for 2+ years. People thought I died. People thought I had a heart attack, or they were throwing rumors around because they thought it was funny because I wasn't there to defend myself. People thought I had a stroke, whatever. But the reality was I had started binging again and I didn't want to be accountable. I didn't want to show up. And it destroyed me for 2+ years. I hid in my apartment. I didn't want to leave. I ruined friendships. I ruined relationships. I ruined jobs because of it. And it made me realize this time around, I need to show up. I need to be here. I need to let people know when I'm doing shitty. I need to let people know when I gain 20 pounds and still stand back here and show you what 20 pounds of bloat looks like. Because for me, it feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders and I'm like, okay, it's done with. It's over. I'm good. I can get back on my shit now because people know what's happened. And there's no hiding, there's no running away. And so when I work with people, when I coach anyone, I want to continue to remind them that that's usually the most important time to have a conversation, is when you're struggling, is when you want to hide, is when you want to run away. Because I feel like that's the most important time to actually talk and figure things out, or maybe get your footing back, make you feel grounded again. Because we all know how to do the good things. We all know what we have to do health-wise, goal-wise. We all know what the good things are to do in life, most of us. And if not, there's nothing wrong with that either. That's what I'm here for, right? But I think where we don't show up is when we're struggling, because we want to run away, because we want food instead. We use food for comfort. We emotionally eat. We stress eat. We don't want to worry about being accountable to anyone. And I get that. I totally get that. But when you get to maybe work with somebody or talk to somebody that understands, that's been there, that isn't going to judge you, because it's like, okay, so you fucked up today. Okay. And can we work on it? Is there something you want to do? Is there something you want to get off your chest? Is there something that's triggering you to do that? There's no way of getting that help unless you start reaching out for it. And that's kind of what I do when it comes to me having an urge to binge, me going on vacation, me gaining weight. It's like, you know what? It happened, but here I am. No shame, no embarrassment. This is just my life. By week 40, I had now lowered my fasts from 65 hours to 42. I decided to do alternating 65 and 42-hour fasts. I just want to share with all of you that the 65, 42-hour fasting plan has been very difficult for me, because all of a sudden it didn't become 65, 42s. It started to just become 42s. And when it became 42s, I wasn't paying enough attention to the volume of my food, even if I was trying to eat healthier, and the weight was slowly creeping up. By week 41, I was starting to have burnout. Did I run away and hide? Did I stop posting on YouTube or social media? No. On day 294, I addressed it publicly. On week 43, I said I was just going to do a staycation. 6 days staycation. I gained almost 22 pounds. 3 weeks later, after doing 65-hour fasts, I got myself back down to 143 pounds. Got back into my maintenance weight. And let's talk about the last 3 days, or the last 12 days here. So since the 65s and 42s and then just doing 42s, I've decided to go back to 65s. I'm doing another 65 on November 6th that I'll be ending it because I'm ending my 65-hour fast tonight while I'm already 70 plus hours in. But I have new plans for year 2. And again, I'll talk about that on Wednesday. But I just want to share with you what the last 12 days have been for me. So on the 23rd of October, I weighed in at 149.8 pounds. I did a 68-hour fast, got down to 148.4, was 149 after doing a 42-hour fast, did another 68-hour fast, got down to 146. And then today, this morning, I weighed in at 145.8 pounds. Right now, I'm currently in the mid 140s. My goal is to continue to still get lower. I still want to continue to lose excess body fat and gain more muscle. Lose excess body fat, gain more muscle. If you want a sneak peek of what year 2 looks like, it's exactly that. But I'll get into those numbers next week or this Wednesday in 3 days. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's what those 52 weeks for me look like. But I want people to remember those 52 weeks wasn't a perfect 52 weeks. Sure, the first 138 days, I was working my ass off. I was pushing hard. I was doing 100 plus hour fasts, 150 plus hour fasts. I was fasting on holidays. Nothing was going to sway me. And then when I hit my goal weight, I had a couple of vacations. I ate back-to-back days. Some days I had a super long refeed. Some days I felt burnt out and I broke early, but I didn't binge. But I never left. I never stopped being accountable. I never stopped showing up. Do you see the difference? There's a huge difference from doing what I did versus saying, fuck it. It's Friday. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to hit a timer. I don't want to fill out a spreadsheet. I don't want to do anything. I just want to. That kind of thinking might work for some people, but for me, if I were to think that way, like I have in the past, it would completely derail me. If I don't hit a timer, even if I'm only doing a 10-hour fast, even if I'm doing a 14-hour refeed, if I'm not hitting the timer, that's when I start losing accountability. That's when I stop being consistent. That's the difference. Some people might be able to do that. I can't. If you're in the same camp, if you find yourself with this all or nothing type thinking, this black and white type thinking, this type of accountability might be very helpful for you. This is also a really good time to talk about coaching. So I'm just going to take a second here and talk about this. People in chat right now, please, if you have questions, you can ask them now. I'm going to do a quick fire round or a fire, whatever you call it, of answering questions. But if you are looking for accountability, if you're looking for coaching when it comes to fasting, coaching when it comes to weight loss, coaching when it comes to your diet, or even strength training at this point, even cardio at this point, I have been doing all of this now for the past year. I am not an expert at any of these things, but I know a hell of a lot when it comes to that. If you are looking for some type of accountability, if you think that showing up for someone can be important, if you think that logging data on a consistent basis that I will be looking at if you use it, because for people that I work with, I give you a spreadsheet to start being accountable, to use for yourself. And it is something that I will look at time and time again. It is something that I will work off of so that we can figure out how can I help you optimize, get you to your goals, get you to where you want to be. Please check the link here. You can find the link in the description if you would like, or if you think that would be helpful for you. At the same time, in the description, there is also another link to join the Finally Fasting fam. That is a group accountability type of coaching. There are people who are in here right now who are part of that group. We all share an accountability spreadsheet where we talk about what our goals are for the week. We hold each other accountable. Some other people will come onto the live stream and talk on camera. Some people will talk in chat. Some people will keep their audio on. So if that's something that might be beneficial for you, please feel free to drop by. It's a small community, but we're all very supportive of each other. Just like most of the community is here, which I'm very, very thankful of. So that's all I got. I want to go ahead and maybe take, we'll say 10 minutes at max, because I need to get going because I'm breaking tonight because I'm almost 71 hours fasted and I'm hungry, everyone. So please, if you have questions, please feel free to ask. If not, oh, there's a question. David, hi, David. I see some days you eat really clean, good amount of protein and fiber. Are you planning to do bodybuilding? So you might be kind of reading into where I'm going for year two. You know what, David? This is a great question. I don't want to say that I'm looking into bodybuilding, but strength training is a very important part of where I want to be. And for year two, I'm at this place now where I'm pretty much at my goal weight, but I still know I have excess body fat. I know that I have fat that I can lose, and I know that there's still muscle I would like to put on. So in a way, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get more cut or shredded or ripped. Now, whether or not that happens, who knows? But that is my goal, my aim, but I'll get into those details later. For now, though, I mean, that's pretty much the direction that I'm going. And I'm kind of excited about it because it gives me new purpose, right? It gives me a new reason to continue what I'm doing. For people who watch me the first time around, yes, I lost the weight years ago and then I gained it all back. And I think a big part of that was because I lost my purpose. I lost my why. I lost the reason of why I wanted to do this. And now I feel like, man, this just gives me an extra incentive to continue working on myself. Also for my health. I'm going to be 44 next month. I have no time to binge eat. I have no room in my life to be shitty to my health. And honestly, anyone who's watching this, who's younger than me or even older than me, please take that into consideration. Your health should be the most important thing in your life. Not to say that other things aren't important. People tell me all the time, but Jerome, I have kids, but Jerome, my job. Listen, yes, sure, all of those things are important, but your health should be number one. Without your health, how are you going to be able to take care of other things in your life? Yes, sometimes you might not have time to do all of these things, but fasting doesn't take much time. Fasting just means you're going to take some time away from food, right? I also think that everybody should give themselves at least an hour a day to take care of themselves. If it's a leisurely walk, if it's to strength train, I just don't see anything wrong when it comes to that. Look at, and maybe this is something I'll dig into later, but people who get older, who start to have metabolic issues, a big reason that happens is because they're losing their strength. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean that you should not do anything. There's still a lot of benefit in taking care of yourself no matter what age. Just FYI. So, Lisa asks, do you only drink water during your fasts? No. Yes, I have a Diet Pepsi here. I'll occasionally drink a Diet Pepsi. I will drink sparkling water, although I don't drink that as much lately. I drink a black iced coffee. I drink unsweetened tea every now and then. I drink other 0-calorie drinks. So no, it's not just water. Also, before anyone asks, No, I don't take electrolytes when I fast. No, I don't take multivitamins. Uh, People ask if I take supplements. The only supplement I take recently is protein. I take protein powder because it's an easier way to get some extra protein in. When I refeed now, my refeeds are about 250 grams of protein. And yes, that is a lot, but I'm also only eating once every 3 days, once every 2 days. So that's the protein I take in. I also take in about 75 grams of dietary fiber. So, hi, Tim. Wow, Tim, I haven't seen you in a minute. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Very well said. Very well said. I think that's it. That's great because this gives me time to go ahead and say a couple of things here before we call it. So, number one, I want to remind you all, right, that the weight on the scale does not define you as a person. We don't walk around with a sign around our neck that says, I weigh XYZ pounds. Look at me. How horrible am I because I weigh X, Y, and Z? The weight on the scale doesn't define you. You should be continuously realizing your self-worth and that your self-worth is more than just the weight on the scale. Please, like I said, on day one, on November 5th, to continue respecting yourself, accepting yourself, and loving yourself for who you are today. Because whether you are at your goal weight, 50 pounds overweight, wherever you're at, it doesn't change the value of who you are as a person. I need to constantly remind myself of this because I don't know where I'm going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, a month from now. But I need to remind myself that my value is still worth the same. Please keep that in mind. Oh, goodness. A couple of super chats here. Priceman5 with a $10 super chat. Priceman5, thank you for the support. Appreciate you as always. A couple of questions. One, do you shop for, cook your own food on your refeed days, or do you do it early? Shop for, cook for, day of. I don't think about food the days before or the days after a refeed. Only day of. For me, that's helpful. If I do it the day before or the day after, not going to happen. Yes, the day of, sometimes prep food earlier, sometimes thaw food earlier, but otherwise I do not think about food in that type of way. Sometimes I'll think about what I'm going to eat the next day, but I will not purchase anything, none of that. On my refeed days, only days I think about food. Yes, I have food in my cupboard. I have junk food, but I've learned to stay away from it. And I think part of that is because my diet has changed. I feel really satiated with the foods I eat. So, yeah. Number two, how important are macros calories to you? They're very important for me now. They used to not be. Watch my old refeeds from 2020, 2021, where I just eat just about anything. I didn't have a YouTube channel when I first started my fasting journey in 2019, but back in 2019, I would literally, I'd go to Taco Bell and then I'd go to some other, like, there was this place in LA because I used to live in LA back then. I go from fast food place to fast food place to fast food place. Then I'd go to, I think it was Albertsons, and I'd buy pumpkin pie, just like I eat pumpkin pie now. And that's what I was doing while I was doing my 90-hour fasts. I was also eating a tin of cashews, and I was still losing weight because I was fasting for long amounts of time. Now it's a lot different. Now I try to get a good amount of protein in. Here's the thing. Calories, sure, it's always going to be a part of what I'm trying to get better at. But for me, I spin the rhetoric on its head. Instead of me worrying about calories, I'm worrying more about how much protein I'm taking down and how much dietary fiber I'm taking down. So yes, at this point, it's important for me, protein especially, because I want to continue to build muscle. Dietary fiber is really important to me because it helps keep my insulin from spiking as much. Dietary fiber just has so many other benefits as well. Three, how do you keep your mind focused on off days? By off days, are you saying refeed days? Or yeah, Do you mean refeed days, days you're fasting, or off days when days you're not working? Because let me see. I don't know if you maybe followed up on that. But for me, I think I'm just so routinely in it. Maybe okay, let me just not working. Okay, I got it, Price Man 5. So this is a common thing. A lot of people who aren't working because they're not busy, then they're just like, yeah, they end up eating because of they end up eating because of boredom, right? So think about it like this. You can try to find ways to stay busy on your off days. You can also remind yourself if I do this as well. Yesterday was Saturday, right? I'm 70 plus hours fasted. I didn't eat yesterday. I didn't eat on the weekend, but here's the thing. When I get up in the morning on Saturday, when I got up yesterday morning, I always remind myself, is today an eating day or is today a fasting day? It's that reminder that already helps me right at the beginning because I tell myself, okay, there's going to be no food noise today. You're not going to sit here and say, maybe I should eat today. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it'd be so nice to eat, right? None of those things. I do keep myself busy because I do work a lot. But at the same time, I think of ways to prolong my fasts. By that, I mean, what do I do to make things easy to prolong my fasts? This can be helpful. A black iced coffee can be helpful. I have now started to incorporate shorter dry fasts, meaning that the evening before at like 7 p.m., I stop drinking anything. I wake up in the morning, I go for my walk, I go lift weights, dry fasted, 12, 14 hours into it. By the time I come home, I'm not thinking about anything except drinking something. Drink water, a couple hours later, drink my black iced coffee, a couple hours later, might have a Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, whatever. Maybe have some water after that, and then I'm good. But that's because I've been doing this for so long. I also satiate myself in a way where I've eaten so much that usually the next day after a fast, or usually the next day after a refeed, I'm not hungry. But those are the things that kind of help me. I also reward myself in different ways now. So instead of rewarding myself with food, rewarding, I hate using that word, but like I do other things like this TV here. Maybe instead of eating, I'll go get Disney Plus for the month, Apple TV for the month. That's my reward. Maybe I'll go to Target and buy another new boys sweater for $8. I would rather spend the money on that than spend $50 on Grubhub, $75 on Uber Eats. It's taken time for me to get here. I don't I don't think that it's just going to change for people in that way, but I think the act of just reminding yourself that, knowing that, hey, are you doing what you're doing because you're actually hungry or are you just in the habit of doing something? Is it a bad habit that you've incorporated? Just a couple of things to think about, Price Man 5. But again, I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Hopefully the questions were helpful in that way. Andre with a $10 super chat. J-Man, congrats on your 1 year anniversary. Thank you, Andre. I appreciate you. When you were gone, all I thought about was where's my dude and hope he's okay. I appreciate that, Andre. I know many people were thinking the same thing. Thank you for showing all of your hard work. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate the kind words. I'm just so glad to be back. And I'm so glad that I've continued to just continue. I'm glad that I've just continued to keep showing up because I think that has been the biggest benefit for me on top of the inconsistent or on top of the on top of the imperfect consistency, right? Is the combination of those things. Being accountable and realizing that I have to give myself grace, that I don't have to be perfect in what I'm doing and just being consistent with it. I think those two things have been the game changers for me. Being accountable to you and to hundreds or thousands or how many other people, I think has been the real game changers. This is the reason that when people say you're not going to be able to sustain this. I'm just like, no, I think I will, because my mindset has changed. Also, when people say that, it really just wants me to do it even better. When people talk shit, it makes me even want to go harder. So if anything, that's more fuel to the fire for me. Like it's like, oh, okay, say it again, so I can just keep reinforcing that motivation for me. So Andre, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you for the support as always. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, before I go, I just, again, want to share this 71 hours and 10 minutes currently fasted. I show you that because I want you to remember that you are not alone on your journey. This journey is not you doing it by yourself. Look at all the people in the comments right now, in the chat right now, sharing. Look at the people in the comments on the videos. Look at the people showing their accountability. Look at me doing this for 364 days over and over and over with a 62-hour average for the last 364 days. I have literally been fasting for 2.5 days over and over and over for the last year. You're not alone on this journey. And even if you think that this is too difficult right now, that this is too hard right now, why can't you do a shorter fast and be okay with that and learn the other parts to weight loss? Just because you don't do a 72-hour fast doesn't mean you can't do an 18-hour fast and work on your diet and work on your exercise. Use the extra calories you ate to go lift weights and build some strength. A lot of people think that all I do all day, every day is just fast and eat whatever I want. And in the past, yes, I've done that. And in the future, I will probably do that every now and then. But I have learned so much about myself, learned so much about taking care of myself and how to better myself. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is to give myself grace, is to be okay with fucking up every once in a while, is to let you know that it's okay to fuck up once in a while. All I'm asking for is don't throw the day away. Continue hitting that timer. Continue logging your data. Continue showing up and being accountable, because I think that's really where it counts more than anything else. Mark with the $20 super chat. Mark, thank you for the support. Thank you always, Mark. Mark, it's always great to see you. Happy 1 year, coach. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. Appreciate all you have done. No problem whatsoever. Thanks for the guidance and showing so many of us what it truly means to live life without always feeling like a failure and to just keep going. You help change lives. Mark, thank you for the kind words. And know that that means so much to me. And I know you know that because you and I have that conversation. Listen, I'm here because not only is it helpful for me, not only is it beneficial for me, but like I've realized in the comments, in the DMs, in the emails that I get, how thankful people are for the help that I give them. To know that what I do all over the world, it is wild to me that the people I've coached come from all over the world. Never in a million years would I have thought that I would be helping people in this way. So it helps encourage me, and I just want to keep sharing all of that with all of you. My knowledge, my guidance, my inspiration, my motivation, and that's all I aim to do at this point. And I say this to anyone who's watching this right now, and if you think you need help, please feel free to reach out to me. That's what I'm here for, is to help you in any way that I can. That's why I tell people to do Q&A in here, and I try to answer questions if I can and be as helpful as I can be. So Mark, thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you for the support. As always, appreciate you, Mark. Thank you so much. Eric Freeman with a $10 super chat. Eric, thank you for the donation. Thank you for the support. Hey, Jerome, I went from 291 to 214. Oh my goodness. Look at all. I mean, that's such a huge weight loss. Congratulations, Eric, because of your imperfect consistency teachings. Congrats on your success. Thank you, Eric, but also congrats on your success. That's amazing to see you get to that point. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. Keep going. Please keep us posted on where you're at and what you're doing. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, at this point, I need to go. I need to start getting ready for my refeed. But Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, I'm doing another live stream. I will be officially celebrating 1 year, even though this is technically 1 year. I started my journey on November 6th, 2023. I will be doing another live stream November 6th, 2024. It'll probably be around this length of a live stream as well. I'm going to be going through everything at that point, sharing all the nerdy stats, letting you know what my year 2 plans look like, because I have a big year 2 coming up. I'm just excited to share that with you all and kind of go from there. So with that being said, again, thank you all so much for the support. Thank you for the donations. Thank you, everyone. Also to the other Mark with the $100 super chat tonight. Thank you for such a huge donation. I appreciate you. But for anyone who donates, for anyone who's here in chat, for anyone who's sharing their journey, thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. It helps me in everything that I do. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Maybe. If not, I'll keep continuing to post videos. I'll keep continuing to do my thing. So until then, take care. Bye, everyone.